All right, let's just jump right in. We're seeing AI pop up absolutely everywhere, right? It's completely changing how companies are trying to sell us stuff. But here's the interesting part, the real twist. While the how is changing at lightning speed, the fundamental why we buy things, well, that might not be changing at all. So let's unpack that.
And look, this isn't some conversation about the distant future. Get this number. Right now, in India, 2/3, 66% of brands are already using generative AI. It's not some little experiment on the side anymore. For a lot of them, it's becoming a core part of the playbook. And all that adoption, well, it's fueling some absolutely incredible growth. We're talking about India's AI market being projected to hit nearly $17 billion by 2027. That is a massive economic shift, and it's all being powered by this tech.
Okay, so this brings us to the real heart of the matter, the central tension we're exploring today. This idea of how we sell versus why we buy. This is the big question that every single brand has to wrestle with in this new AI world.
Which, of course, leads to the most important question of all. With all of this amazing tech, all the data, the automation, does it fundamentally change us, the consumer? Well, the source material we're digging into has a pretty strong opinion on that.
And the short answer is nope. This slide lays it out perfectly. The how of selling is in this state of constant, rapid change, supercharged by AI. But the why we actually click that buy button, turns out that's still driven by the same old timeless, deeply human factors.
So to really get this, we need a mental model. Let's talk about what the source calls the two-brained buyer. It's all about understanding that constant tug-of-war between logic and feeling that happens inside our heads before every single purchase.
So what exactly do we mean by a two-brained buyer? It's actually a pretty simple but really powerful idea. Every time you buy something, your decision is a mix, right? It's part cold, hard, rational calculation and part deep-seated emotional impulse. It's never, ever just one or the other.
And what's so great about this is how recognizable it is. On the rational side, you've got the easy stuff. Price, features, can I get it tomorrow? But then, on the emotional side, that's where the real magic happens. Do I trust this brand? Does this product make me feel like I belong? This is where it gets way more complex. Okay, so let's tackle the first half of this equation. Let's talk about AI's power, specifically its power over the rational brain. This is where technology is just incredible at delivering clarity and consistency on a massive, massive scale.
And if you're going to remember one thing from this section, let it be this: AI scales clarity. It's brilliant at taking super complex information and making it simple, consistent, and available to millions of people instantly.
So where does this really shine? Well, think about categories where those rational factors are a huge deal. Fashion, right? You want to know the material, the exact fit. Real estate, it's all about square footage, location, number of bathrooms. Consumer durables, you're comparing specs and warranties. In these areas, clarity is just king. And how does AI pull this off? Well, it does things that humans just can't do, at least not at that scale. It can explain product details with perfect accuracy every single time. It makes comparing features across hundreds of items a breeze. It uses data to give you just the right message. And maybe most importantly, it's on the job 24/7 and it never, ever gets tired.
And look, this isn't just a cool theory. The data actually backs it up. A YouGov survey found that 55% of Indian consumers are actively engaging with AI influencer content. That's a majority. It's way above the global average, and it proves that this rational, clarity-first approach is really working. But of course, that's only half the story, right? Now we've got to flip the coin and talk about humanity's edge, the emotional. This is where things like trust and real, genuine connection are pretty much irreplaceable.
And it comes down to another simple, powerful phrase. If AI skills clarity, then humans build trust. It's a totally different job, but it's every bit as important.
And just like with AI, this human approach is way more critical in certain areas. Think about the really personal stuff: skincare, wellness, your personal finances, your education. In these categories, you're not just buying a product feature. You're buying into a philosophy. You're looking for a result. You're looking for a guide you can actually trust.
So what is it that human creators bring to the table that an AI just can't? Well, it's all the nuance. It's the cultural context that makes a joke land or a reference make sense. It's the relatability of a shared problem. It's the sheer power of a personal story. And that authentic voice that says, hey, I've been there, and this is what actually worked for me.
So here we are. We've got these two incredibly powerful forces, AI for logic, humans for emotion. And that brings us to our final section, the human plus AI future. The big takeaway here is that this is not a battle for one side to win. It's a balance that has to be found.
The real genius, the true opportunity for any brand listening, is to stop thinking about this as an either-or. It's about using both of these forces intentionally and strategically at all the different points along a customer's journey.
And this is what that actually looks like in practice. Maybe you use an AI-driven ad to create broad awareness and just deliver the clear facts. But then, a human creator tells a personal story when the customer is still considering their options. Then, AI can make the actual purchase super smooth. And finally, a human-led community can build that long-term advocacy. You see, they work together.
And this really all comes down to this one single powerful idea. The future of brand building is not AI versus humans, but humans empowered by AI to connect smarter, faster, and more meaningfully. You hear that? It's about empowerment, not replacement.
So we'll leave you with this one final thought to mull over. As you look at your own brand, or even just how you shop for things yourself, ask this question. Where does this journey need more logic, more of that AI-driven clarity? And where does it desperately, desperately need more heart?